Hello my fellow admins and welcome back to another episode of Scriptrunner Guides. Void.admin here, and today in this video I'm going to show you how you can create issue templates for JIRA using Scriptrunner Behaviours. So let's start. So the whole idea for this video is to have a template function in your project where you can use a ticket template that you can recreate other tickets in your project, right? So the whole idea here, like I have a small demo how this is working, right? So when you create, let's say in this situation where each week you need to create an epic or multiple epics, and basically you are filling a lot of fields in the same way, right? So this takes a lot of time. So you want to have an epic and that epic to be created from a template, right? So you'll just be creating one epic which will be used as a template, and you just choose that epic, and all the fields from that epic, which will be considered as a template, will be copied to your form here when you create a new epic, right? So the whole idea here is to have like a template field, and from here you just click on this template, which is another epic that has like a bunch of field values, and when you click on it, then it will copy all the field values into this form. So you have summary, you have description, you have labels, you have different fields that I choose for this video. We have a single select custom field, we have a multiple select custom field, and we have a text field multi-line, which is a type string. And I've used these examples for this video, but you'll take this template as an example and you just match with your situation, and you just can create your perfect template here, because I didn't introduce fields like assets here. You have fields like other types, users or date fields, right? If you want to copy that date fields. So you will need to make some adjustment to this template, but the whole idea is to understand how this implementation can be possible using Scriptrunner. So now I'll get through by it one by one feature here. So basically for this to work, you need to have first of all like status. So this is how I implement it here. For the epic workflow that I have, right? So I have this epic workflow and I modified it to add it as a template. So I introduced a new status in the workflow, which is called template, and all statuses can go into that template, right? So let's say that you created an epic with all the fields that you will be using as a template, and you just transition to the template, and then from that drop down, will show you only the epics that have the status template, right? So this goes into the other section of this implementation where you will need issue picker custom field, which is of a type from Scriptrunner. It's a scripted field from Scriptrunner that you need in order to have this implementation, right? So without Scriptrunner you cannot do it, right? So this is using a simple aspect from Scriptrunner, which is using Scriptrunner behavior, but first you need a scripted field from Scriptrunner. So you go into the Scriptrunner section. I also have a more in-depth video on my channel on a guide how you can create a scripted field of issue picker type. So I'll post that video in description of this video, and you can go directly there and see more in depth how you can create that. But basically you have this create scripted field and you follow up the steps there. But I have my template here created. So if I click edit here, you will see that you have a name that you can give for your template field. And here, this is the most important part, the JQL part, where it will have a JQL in the back end of this field that will check the issues on your JIRA based on that JQL. So here I have issue type epic and status template, right? Because I want epics that are in status template, because those are marked as a template here. We don't choose multiple because we only need one select. Here is a placeholder, basically what you see when you open the form and you see with gray, choose your template optional. This is like a message from the user that will open the template. And here, fields to search, you have the opportunity to search in that issue picker field based on summary or other fields, but take in mind that you'll need string fields, which is like text, in order to search here, right? So maybe if you want to search by reporter, like who created those templates, maybe you create 5 templates and you only want to search by your templates if other people are creating their templates, And basically, then you will need to make some adjustments where you need to copy the name of the reporter in another field, which is type of text field, and then you can use that text field here in order to be searchable by those by that value, right, which is like the reporter. Here the configuration script, this will be shown more in depth in the other video that I have regarding scripted fields, but you don't need it for this implementation. And you just basically create that scripted field. It will be shown here, and then you take this name of the field template and just add it in the screen where you have this template, right? For me, it's in the Epic Create screen. So now the next step, when you have all these parts until now, you have a template, you just choose your fields that you want to fill in here. I have like some simple fields here that I used, but of a different type. So now let's go into the behavior. So go into the Scriptrunner section and just choose the tab behaviors, and here you can create the behavior using this button, create behavior. You just give a name and then you map this behavior to the specific project where you create this implementation of issue templates. And you just basically choose also the issue type where you want this to be mapped. But I have here this issue template, and if I edit this, one more important thing here, when you add this new behavior, you don't add it, the script, you don't add it as initializer, you will add it as a server-side script for that specific issue type picker field, right? So here we need to introduce, so if you scroll down at the bottom, you see add field. So here you select from the drop down, you select the scripted field that you created previously, right? And on this one, you'll click on create server-side script, and then you'll have this console here, right? So we have the template, which is the field of type scripted field, which is a type issue picker here. So now I'll go line by line and trying to explain each part from this script, because you'll need to understand what exactly we are doing here, right? So I'll comment this part and I'll go one by one here, right? So here, basically we have the imports, right? These are like classes that we import. So I'm trying also to explain for people that are beginners in this channel, right? Because usually this channel is intended for beginners. So I'll try to explain line by line. So the advanced people, you can skip to this video and see how it has been done at the end of this explanation. But for example, here we are defining variables, right? So we have the template, which is the template of the issue picker that the user will pick here, right? So this is the field, right? So we need to get that field first. So we get by this option, get field by ID. You can also put the ID of the field or get field by name. But if you are using this method, get field change, this will automatically get the field that you added here as a field in the behavior, right? So you don't need to add it as a name. And next line is to get the template field value, which also has this operator, which is null point exception in case you don't get a value, you don't get that error with null point exception, right? So this is, we get the template, as I said, and the template value, because this is important, and I'll uncomment the other thing. So here with this block, I'm trying to make sure that the template has a value, right? If not, you'll get like errors in the logs, right? So I'm using this if to make sure that the template has a value. If the template has a value, then we'll get a value, so we don't get the value from nothing, right? So here we are defining the template before, and then in the if we are just mentioning that the definition of this variable here, like this variable that hasn't been defined with specifics, has specifics, right? Where we get the issue manager, get issue object, and we get the template value, which is from the line 13, right? So here in this block, you will see like two methods where you can get this template, issue template, because you have the option using JIRA API, or you have the option using Happy from Scriptrunner, which is the simplified API, right? I've used this Happy. I don't say that it's bad in this situation, but I don't have time to look more into it, but when I was using the happy one, I will get like errors in the logs that it cannot fetch the issue ID even if the script was totally fine, right? So the whole implementation was working when I was trying to, like, I choose the template, every field value was copied, right? But in the behavior, when I was checking the logs, it returned me errors, right? So I don't know why I didn't have time to check, so I just used the JIRA API because this doesn't return any log issues, even if the script is working, right? So the happy script, the happy version is working. I'm not saying it's bad, right? But because it was returning errors, you'll need to dig it out why and what changes you need to make here, right? So that's why I didn't choose happy, but I just put both different API here. You just select it what you want. You just choose what you want. So here the next block is getting the custom fields, right? Because we need to get custom fields from the custom field manager from JIRA. And I just put like two methods here, how you can get them by name. And you are choosing these custom field objects by name. And this will return you a list. And because it will return a list, we need to get the first one from the list, which is like the 0 position. And we have the option to get a custom field by ID. I recommend usually going by ID because in every environment you could have duplication of custom fields, right? There is this perfect environment situation where you don't have custom field duplication, so then it's not an issue to get it by name, right? But both examples will work, but make sure if you have two justification custom fields with the same name, then it will fetch the first result, which is the first custom field created, right, in that list, right? So this is basically how you can get the custom fields. And in the next block, we'll get the fields from the issue, which are the forum fields, right? So these forum fields are the fields that are found in this screen, right? So in this screen, you will have these fields, but you need to define them. And system fields, you get them by ID, and you just mention the name of them, even if these are the IDs, but these are the IDs like for JIRA in the backend, right? You don't have custom field and ID or a simple ID, right? So get field by ID labels, which is coming from this issue field constants, which is like in this class, and we just type labels here. The custom field name, you get the name simply as you did here on the top, custom field name, and you specify the tools. Also an example of how you can get by ID, which using the custom field ID. If you don't know how to get this ID from a custom field, you just go in custom field section, and if we are trying to type the custom field desired, we just click on these three dots, and if we click edit, you'll see that on the top you have this custom field ID 10,600, and this is for tools, right? For which is one was the task choice, and if we are doing the same things, 10,201, the same ID that we have here. So this is how you are getting by ID. Again, an example how you get the name, but we need justification for future references in the script, right? So the next part here in the script is to get the field options from the custom fields. So we have two different fields. One is single select, one is custom, one is single select custom field, and one is multiple select. And for these, we need to get the options from these custom fields because these are not values. These are called options, and these options have a specific class in JIRA, right? Where you need to fetch them. And I'm using this method in order not to hard code these options, right? Because these options are found. So if you go in tools, let's say in tools, right? In tools, we are fetching this custom field, which is single select. If we click on configure context, you can have multiple contexts here, right? So for tools, you can use tools in one project with some field options, in other project with other field options, right? And you'll need to fetch the values automatically without hard coding them, because someone could get here and add a new field options, and then you will need to get here and just provide that field options manually, because you hard code the options, right? So that's not a good idea. You just get the ID of the config of the context, and we are fetching the values from that context, right? So you'll see here in the script that I'm choosing this field context ID, which is 10,301. It's what are the so this is tools, so it's 10,700, right? So if you don't know how you can get this field context, it's basically you're getting into the custom field, click configure context, and here where you have the options, click on edit options. And now the thing that you need to do is to go into the URL of the JIRA that you are here, and you will see this field config scheme ID equals 10,700, right? So this is the ID of this context, where this context has these fields options, right? So you will need to get this ID in order to get the field options here, because we need to fetch in these variables the field options, not as values, right? So even if you hard code them, I didn't try it, right? I don't know if it's working, but I think it's working because you'll set it up as field IDs when you set the form value. So I'm pretty sure it will work, right? So, but this is the better method. So you will get the tool field options from the options as options, right? Maybe it's like sounds like worst here, but this is how my explanation here is like, these are not values. These are values as options, which options have like a specific class in JIRA, right? So you're using this to get this field options for both type of fields. And the next section from this script is basically fetching field values from the template. So this is the template that the user is selecting. So this issue, right? So now we'll get a field the field values from the template. As I said, summary, description, and labels. Labels also system field, but labels, you don't just get labels, you need to get them as string list in order to set the foreign value of this one to the template to make it work, right? Also, we have the same examples here. I just type this example for custom field text to identify which one is text and which one is multiple or single select, but we are basically saying that the issue template, which was the one defined at line 16, and define it again based on the value if it has, which is the template value, right? So we get the issue template, we get it as an issue, and then we get custom field value of the justification custom field, which is the justification that was defined here. This is the variable that was defined, right? So this is how you are getting the field value from a custom field. And you are seeing here that I just used this example for all three of them. And now if we uncomment this next section, we have, so this is using to get the actual field options that are found in the template, right? Because here we got the custom field value, right? But in this custom field value, you don't get the field as options, right? These are the options here, right? So here is the entire list, right? So now what you need to do is to specify. So you see here tools, fields, options. So this is the multiple select. It's defined here as a variable in line 48. And we are using this to find all options, which will find all options from that context. And it in tools template, which will find exactly the list that you selected in the template, right? So in the template, if you selected 2 of them out of 5, then it will find those as options, right? So now we have these values as options, not as values. Then we can use them to attach to that form that we opened, right? So here, the example with multiple select, you need to have here in, and here find all. And here in the single select, which is this task choice, you also get task choice field options, which is defined at line 46. And you find the specific value, which is found in the task choice template. And now you have fetched the options as values, not simple values, right? So now we get into the interesting part where we attach these values, and here we have the examples for the system fields, which are like summary, description, and labels, right? And we have the text field, right? This simple is basically the same as the system fields, but now the single select has some things here, which is you set foreign value of this. So just to roll a bit back, you see this summary is something that we defined at line 33, right? So we got the field, basically we define this variable, which are the fields from the form that are found here, right? So when you want to set foreign value, you need to set foreign value for the screens that are found in this screen, right? The fields found in this screen, sorry. So here we have it defined at line 33, and here at line 68, we take that field summary, we set a null point except just to make sure that it has that the template, that the field is found in the screen, right? So we set the foreign value of the summary for the summary template, same with description, labels, and justification. And here for the task choice, we get a task choice that we define it as line 39 here, and we set foreign value, and now we get the task choice values, right? Which are here at line 64, which are as options, but take in mind that you cannot set the options again as a name. You need to set them as option ID, right? So then you'll get this one, and you will mention that you get the options ID, and this is how you set foreign value. You set a value to a specific screen using the option ID, right? You get them by name first of all, because this is like only one, and then you set as option ID, and here you have the values as option ID, right? And basically this is the entire script. It has 76 lines for this specific template, which is like a simple template with a few fields, right? If you have like a bunch of fields in the screen, you'll have this like 3 times more here, because you need to define everything. You need to take the options, and if you have assets, that's a more complicated thing. If you have fields as assets, right? So now basically this is the script. Don't remember that you need to set this script as a field for the template that you created, which is the issue picker. And I think that's pretty much it. You just save the changes. You have here a button, save the changes. And now you just make sure that you basically, by the way, you need to create this template. So you create an epic or that field, that issue type, which you will be transitioning to template, and then you will have all these values. And then here in the template, you open the create screen, choose the template, and now everything will be copied from that template one that you chose with exactly what you specified in the behavior. And I think that's pretty much it. I hope I gave a basic explanation where you can actually make use of this and just take this template and make, I don't know, changes to it, add fields, just play around. Just let me know in the comments below how this was going for your project, if you just could change it in your way to create a perfect template. But this is how you are doing it using Scriptrunner Behavior. It's a simpler implementation, right? So you will need to make adjustments, maintain it over time, right? It's not an easy task, but if you don't have a budget for a plugin which is doing this like a more complex way, in a more nicer way for the users, this you don't have like here like colors or something like that, right? So this is like a simpler way if you have Scriptrunner, and I hope this video was helpful for you. I also will put this template script behavior in my GitHub repository, so I also post the link down below in the video description. And don't forget that I have other video guides on my channel for JIRA and Scriptrunner, and I also have a bunch of templates, not like script templates, not the specific templates from this video. I have other scripts that you can make use freely from my GitHub repository. And that's all for today. Also, Don't forget that we have a small community on our Discord channel. If you want to join that, just click in the link down below. That's it for this video. Until next video, just subscribe if you like this content, like it if you like it. Until next time, peace!